Hi, David.
Hi, Sarah.
I get emails quite regularly from people asking questions about other people who drain people's energy. Sometimes it happens in families. I also get it from healers. I had one actually today, somebody who is exhausted and very empathic and feels that her energy gets drained when she's doing healing. So that's one part. And then, of course, there's the whole energy vampire thing. It's quite
Yep.
a popular phrase these days, and I think
It
people are
is,
very
isn't it?
aware that some people seem to suck the life energy out of you, and some
Mm.
people support your energy. So I thought that would be a really interesting thing to explore through both of our lenses to see what's going on there and see what people can do to change that situation.
It's a pretty big subject, isn't it?
Yes,
But
absolutely, because it's really about relationships as well.
it is, and I mean, we do have to go into how people's energy works, and um, so many, probably a lot of areas that people aren't really aware of. They're sort of probably the uncommon, but like as soon as we think of energy, most people only just think of energy, not all the stuff that is associated with it. It's just like, well, I'm learning all about energy, but that's as far as they go. You know what I mean?
It's a
It's
bit
not.
like people see energy rather like a personal battery. So my battery fills up or my battery goes down. It's a very physical kind of energy, but there's
Yeah, or
so much more to energy than that.
yeah, people might learn a little bit about, say, thinking about um, learn how it feels. Like
Yeah.
um, I remember donkeys years ago, and I've had this conversation with you, where we went to a an energy thing, and my sister and I, and we just wanted to see what other people's take was on it. And there was a lot of people just grabbing energy and then throwing it, which wasn't real. I was trying to explain to them how that works, and it just comes back and bites you in the ass. But um, yeah, a lot of people don't realize there's a lot more to it, because when we generate energy, we have to consider how if it's we're just sort of thinking it's just a physical form of energy. But um, the thing is, all energy really starts with whatever our spirit energy, how it works denotes how the rest of all our different types of energy is going to work. If it's absorbent, um, if it's by that I mean, like, a lot of people have really sucky just sponges. They just pick up whatever's going around, and that is basically the way your spirit energy works. And we'll talk about that again in a minute. But it's also has a lot to do with the way your conscious works, and it's not what people would probably think, because as soon as people think about consciousness, they only think about um, more or less how you how it pertains to information. Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, consciousness isn't just that. It's like consciousness is like your own personal software, how you work. And it's also relates to all different way and a lot of people don't realize they even channel. Um, a lot of people are quite horrified that they actually channel, but really your intuition and your instinct, first off, is a form of channeling. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's like the
And
most
how,
popular or the
and
most
yeah,
common form of channeling.
yeah, it is. I mean, that's the one that we all dismiss as, oh, it's just intuition. But really, intuition and instinct are a form of channeling, and it all denotes back to um, how and where you're strong. Because first off, physical energy is really a little bit passive aggressive. It's like it gives a bit, but it wants to take a lot more back. So we need to. as soon as we use a spirit version of that by using your combined soul and heart, instead of your energy just making sure it's available to give or take, because what I found is just about everybody's energy to start with, everybody just gives, gives, and gives. Yeah. And it gets to the point where a lot of people have given so much, they're only happy when they are giving. Yeah.
And that must relate directly to what we're talking about,
It
because
does.
if you have the experience that someone's sucking the energy out of you, that can only happen if you're letting really if you're letting your energy be sucked out of you, because you don't have the that kind of integrity of your energy, that wholeness, and that's not your fault. You
No,
probably have never been shown how to do it, but it does happen because you actually give your energy away very easily, doesn't it?
that's right. And most people who, by the time they get to me, they're usually quite, they've lost a lot of their whole capacity. Yeah. Because you've just given and given and given and given and given. And I like them to be like the little old lady living in the shoe, you know, your, your cupboard's empty.
Yep.
It's absolutely empty. But when your cupboard gets empty, then you become a consumer, which means that you start to take on everybody else's energy. The other
And that's
thing is
because you're
that,
needy, but it's because you really need energy and you don't know
that's
where
right.
to get it from. I see with many people, the only way they know sort of how to get energy is from other people, but you don't really want other people's energy. There's
No.
much better
So,
energy than that.
so when we start to learn all about what energy does, there's one rule of energy that most people aren't aware of, and that's if your energy isn't moving to your basically to your energy fields and everything, then you suck up whatever is in your fields. And most people are really efficient at sucking up whatever's around them because there's so many different types of energy we just need to use. But if we start by learning how to when we ground, as we've talked on this show before, how you learn to ground. When you ground efficiently, we aren't just grounding, we're grounding, and then we learn how to actually create cycles of energy, because as you ground, you're activating your energy. Okay. So most people don't even know how to activate their energy. It's just like, well, I hope I'm doing it. Or they assume that they're activating their energy. Yeah.
So what happens then is you get very static bits of energy, stuff that's not moving. If you
Mm.
don't know how to have these cycles working, you have parts of your energy just not working, they're not moving, and that's when other energy can move in. It's almost like creating gaps or vacuums. Whereas if your energy's moving and cycling really well, other energy, there's nowhere for it to go. So you have
No.
almost like a natural boundary, don't you?
And the other part is that our energy is really reflective of how our consciousness works, because the way our consciousness works, your energy and your conscious basically work in tandem. Yeah. Because that's how you get everything to activate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you find how it's, because that's how we can go to a very deep consciousness, like say you're meditating and you can go down to a really deep conscious. Well, we know we can take people 3 times deeper than you've ever gone before, but yeah, you're still fully coherent.
Yeah.
That's because your energy is actually moving with your consciousness at the same time, which doesn't allow people to suck up your energy. So what Sarah and I have been teaching people to do now is basically, instead of give and take, we teach how to share your energy, so that when you share your energy, it's more like if somebody needs help, you teach them to be efficient. And when you teach people to be efficient, it basically means that you're not giving away yourself. You're showing somebody how to actually use their energy, how to use their consciousness, how to use certain abilities that everybody has, but they've all just been detuned as we've gone through. We felt a little bit of stress. We felt a little bit of burnout more than anything, because when you end up giving, and that's why I really love helping nurses and doctors, or all the helpers, because those are the poor buggers who end up burnt out. And why? Because they've given and given and given until they've got nothing left, and they're just drained. They are simply drained. So the more we learn about this one simple law of energetics, if your energy isn't moving, then you are very susceptible to taking on or giving away all your energy, because it takes on, you take on the crap of everybody else. And we do that pretty quickly when we show people, even in the first day. Maybe we could even show people now. So
Yep.
maybe a quick little exercise.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So if we might get people to stand up, Sarah. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to stand up too?
Yeah, you may as well. And we'll do a quick little exercise. We'll need you to ground first. So we're going to ground first off. Okay. So we'll just put your hands on the side of your legs. Close your eyes, because we're going to actually activate your energy as well as ground. Okay. So here we go. Hands on the side of your legs. Close your eyes and just relax. At the same time, we're going to ground. So with your hands on the side of your legs, just breathe in now and hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just breathe out normal. Again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just breathe out. Again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold that breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just breathe out. Now just breathe normal. The reason Sarah and I have done that is so that you bring your energy inwards, okay? Because most people don't realize your energy is actually heading outwards, okay? And that's why we've just asked you to have attention so that your energy moves inwards. And with that breath exercise, that's what we're doing. Now, you may be aware that your energy is now very deliberately moving downwards. Okay, it's like being in an elevator and just slowly, slowly, slowly moving down. And that's all we're doing. We're just moving down slowly, 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 slowly. And as your energy begins to move down, it just allows us to connect and make sure that our energy is actually moving in cycles. Okay. Our energy has to move in cycles. And that's exactly what we're doing now. Very gently moving our energy in a cycle. And as it moves down, straight away, we'll soon start to feel that we almost feel like moving forward. That moving forward part basically just means that your energy is moving. Okay? Because you can't move forward if your energy isn't moving. So just hold there until you feel yourself slowly, slowly start to move forward. Okay? You'll feel yourself rocking. There we go. Now we have to move forward 3 times. So moving forward once, twice, 3 times. We put our hands onto our hips now, please. When we put our hands on our hips, we make sure that both parts of our body are merging, and or we're making sure that both sides have a capacity about them. Because when we are used to giving and giving and giving, we find what, Sarah, most people are pretty lax on the right-hand side of their bodies, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, their right side doesn't have as much energy moving. So the right side is actually your opposite sex, okay? And again, you'll start to move forward slowly, slowly, moving once, moving twice, moving 3 times. We bring our hands to a prayer position. When we're in this prayer position, we start to engage our consciousness, okay? That's what we're doing, engaging our consciousness. You might find, or for those who are highly sensitive, it's like a part that's deep inside you almost comes out and connects, okay? Because that's what we're doing. We're connecting to consciousness right now. And we just start to move forward once, twice, 3 times. We then put our left hand on our right shoulder, right hand on our left shoulder. So we're cross-referencing all our different types of energy fields. Okay. We just hold it. We just hold it a little bit longer. And we're just about to move forward. And here we go, moving forward once, twice, 3 times. We move the opposite way, please.
That
Now,
means the hand that was on the bottom is now on the top.
exactly, yeah. And some people might notice, even at this point, is usually when a lot of people start to yawn, because this is when your energy really does start to move. So if you're starting to yawn, that's a pretty damn good sign that your energy is moving. Another sign that you may just sense too, for highly sensitive people, is that your nose may become a little bit tingly. That just simply means that the energy within your consciousness is beginning to move, okay? Now, we're just starting to move forward once, twice, 3 times. Now we move straight to a prayer position. Hold it here, and we're locking in the energy that has moved. Just hold it for a little bit longer until everybody gets used to it. And we'll move forward once, twice, 3 times. Now, we dump. So when we dump, we don't want to move energy that's not us. So as soon as we use neutral energy, and that's what we're doing now, just using neutral energy, because neutral energy is of a massive capacity, okay? Neutral may not sound highly of a high capacity, but it is. You may start to feel energy just pour out of your hands. Well, that is energy that is taking, okay? As you feel the energy that is pouring out your hands, this is energy that is taken. So straight away, we've just learned that there's some part in our body where we've been forced, or people are taking advantage of us without us even knowing about it, okay? Now we just hold it here, and all of a sudden you'll start to move forward again. So that's as much as you can get rid of the energy where people dump on you or take from you, okay? It's the same thing. Bring your hands straight back to a prayer position. And we just hold it. And we'll move forward. 1, 2, 3. We now put our hands straight on the front of our legs. Exactly the same. You may feel that you're moving down in an elevator, okay? Now, we're using different energies of physical energy, but we started off with using more of what is a spirit energy. And it basically guides what what capacity we have. Okay, and that's why we've now moved to a more of a physical energy. Once again, you may feel that you're moving down in an elevator. Now, as we move down, we connect to universal energy. Okay, that's universal energies that have different essences and elements. And that basically moves all within our usual energy fields. Okay, as that energy moves, it helps us generate energy. Okay, so we've actually got to create energy and create power within the energy to make everything move. That's why we're focusing on getting our energy to make sure that it circulates. Then we ground. We don't, our energy doesn't go flopping all around the place as well. Now, we're just starting to slowly move forward again, moving once, twice, 3 times. Now move your hands to your hips. So we're just exactly following what we did before, but we're just engaging different energy, completely different. And remember, this is very, very basic, but it is the foundations of all the different types of energy that we have. And we're just starting to move forward now, once, twice, 3 times, hands back to a prayer position. Now, we're also endeavoring to use what is our intuition and our instinct. And that's what we're doing now. We're just using our consciousness, because you have to use consciousness and energy to engage your intuition and your instinct a little bit more. Okay? Which means that you then become aware of what your energy is starting to do. Okay? That's the whole reason what we're doing what we're doing. We move our energy, we move our consciousness, it engages our intuition, our instinct, and then we start to become a little bit slightly aware. It means that we start to get information about what's going on. Some people, even at this point, if you're highly sensitive, sometimes people smile just a little bit. That means that you're starting to get information about what your energy's up to and when it's efficient. So when your energy is efficient and making a whole cycle, you can sometimes even now get a little bit of a smile or feel just at ease. Okay? So we're going forward once, twice, 3 times, and again we'll dump. Hands to the side, palms forward, dumping nice and easily. Don't be surprised now if your eyes roll. Okay? Sometimes people's eyes will roll quite a lot. It just simply means that you're starting to open up your perspective to using energy or seeing energy as basically what is very important to your intuition, to your instinct. We're all moving forward now. There's 1, 2, 3 times we've moved forward. We go back to a prayer position. We hold it here, which means we're starting to seal ourselves up just a little bit. So we're holding it here, moving forward once, twice, 3 times. Now, if we don't use, and we can just drop our hands, but clasp them like this. If we don't use our energy, sometimes we have what is almost like abandonment of self, okay? Abandonment of our self-love, because the energy creates your own personal self-love, okay? So without the energy and the consciousness moving together, sometimes we aren't aware that we have enough self-love, which means that we will give away our self-love. So different versions, we don't appreciate ourselves enough. We don't have enough compassion for ourselves. We don't have enough worthiness or thoughtfulness about ourselves. And we just give all those capacities away. Now, as we hold our hands just in front of our stomach here, we just right on, here's my belly button here, and just vastly a little bit higher than that. We're just going to push it out as far as we can, and then very gently and slowly bring it back in. Gently, gently, gently. Bring it all the way back in. If you're highly sensitive, you may even feel like your hands want to go like this, okay? That's just how you're starting to feel a lot of the energy that is behind your hand, and it is just starting to wake up, okay? It's just starting to wake up. Again, push your hands all the way up. And we're just doing this on a very, very basic level, okay? Ultra, ultra basic. And just bring it back in. So we're going to do this 3 times. And out again, 1 more time. And then just bring it all the way back in. Nice and easy. And just hold it on your stomach here, okay? Now, a lot of people who are highly sensitive are very aware that people come up and dump on them, yeah? They can't wait to come and see you. It's almost like, hi, haven't seen you in ages, want to embrace you, give that great big hug, yeah? And it's almost like they dump crap on you, not just take, okay? Because it's exactly the same thing. When people dump crap on you, it's exactly the same as taking energy, because they're taking a capacity for you to feel you away. But as they leave, they can often take your energy with them, okay? Now, just bring your hands up to a normal prayer position. Hold it here for just a few moments. So we're going to hold it for maybe 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now, just slightly, we're going to try and push our hands apart. And you might feel there's a lot of energy on the back parts of your hands here. This simply denotes that your energy isn't cycling, which means 2 things. 1, people can easily dump crap on you, which basically shuts you down and you can't use your energy. But it also denotes that it's very easy for people to take energy away from you, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to release a lot of the energy that people have dumped on you very quickly. Now, just point your hands directly towards the computer. Open your hands up just slightly and keep opening. And then bring your hands straight back in. Bring your hands back to a normal prayer up here. Now, just open your hands to the width of your face, and you may even feel the energy almost shattering inside there, okay? So there's a lot of energy being pushed here, okay? So what we're doing is we're releasing a lot of energy that has been dumped on us, which stops us from either making sure that our energy moves around our body, or it makes it very easy for other people to just take energy from us. Put our hands back together now, and we dump. Now your hands may feel a little bit heavy, they may feel warm, they may feel like they vibrate. There's a lot of different scenarios that you may feel your hands are doing, because we're simply releasing a whole load of energy that's been dumped on us. And some people might even feel your legs even going, jumping up and down. It just depends on your sensitivity or what your sensitivities are geared to. We bring our hands straight back to a prayer position. Breathe in. Just breathe out quick, because there's a lot of internalized energy here. So just again, breathe in. Just blow that energy out. That's it. Now, again, we're going to try and move our energy, and it's quite easy until we get out to about here. And we find a lot of energy just pushing back. Don't be surprised if your knees, again, are almost a little bit jittery, okay? Because it stops you from being able to move the energy right around your whole entire body, okay? Hands back to a prayer position. Point directly to the computer. This time, open those hands and you'll feel all that energy on the outside. Now, in between your hands is neutral energy, okay? Between your hands is neutral energy, and we're just releasing a whole load of forced energy that is in neutral. So we bring our hands straight back to a prayer, bring it straight back up to a normal prayer, hold it here, and dump. And again, we're releasing a lot of energy. Some of you may even feel that energy just shedding off you, okay? It feels like you're having a shower, yeah? All that energy, especially on your back, okay? Generally, your back will feel it a little bit more. And for some people, the amount of energy that you're really releasing from your arms, and it almost makes your pecs almost feel like they're getting taut, okay? That's it. Just let it go. And we'll bring our hands straight back to a normal prayer. Move your hands out, and hey, we've released a lot. But out here, you can start to feel a tiny little bit of energy on the outside. So we're going to turn our hands the other opposite way out. So hands are facing outwards, palms are facing out. We just push out. Now, don't be surprised if you can feel some energy now in your teeth, okay? Because all this energy that's sitting out here is impacting on us, okay? Impacts through your whole body, which means it's like compressing or repressing you, and you're just shutting down. It's like, oh, don't come too close to me, yeah? And that's why we really feel some people's energy. Now, as we hold it here, we're basically disengaging the forceful energy, okay? We're using neutral energy, and if it's really forceful, it just falls off. We don't push it off. All we do, it's just like we're using a light switch, okay? Because at the moment, we're not just using physical energy, we're using light energy. And when we use light energy, we can disengage energy that is forceful or take. And forceful energy takes or forces energy on us, okay? Turn those hands straight back to a prayer. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in again, breathe out. Point those hands towards the computer. Open those hands up. Now it's quite free indeed. Yeah, we can go a long ways out. Bring those hands all the way back to a normal prayer. It's still pointing at the computer. Just hold it here a couple of moments more. Now we can bring it back to here. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Now we can just open those hands up, and it's nice and free. Now that we've done that, we're going to make sure that we don't lose that capacity. So again, we're going to put our hands on the side of our legs. We're going to make sure that we can use this new capacity that we've got and move the energy around our body. Now, with the hands on the side of our legs, our energy is going to move a lot easier. And we're just using light energy to move the energy around your body, light energy only. And as it moves, it just means that we become a little bit more relaxed. And we can just identify and sometimes feel the energy moving around our body, but feel how quickly you're moving down. Now you're going down and down and down and down and down. Feel that? That means you're moving into universal energy. Universal energy is how you get all the energy in your body to move more. Okay? Universal energy is also how you get all the good stuff to happen in your life. Okay? Without universal energy, we cannot connect to synchronicity, sequences, and just be at the right place at the right time to get the good things to happen, no matter what it is you're trying to get to go happen. Because otherwise, we often listen to wrong information. Okay? Because if you're listening to the wrong information and you're being forced around, or people are saying, give me your energy, give me your, because you're also giving away certain, not just energy, but information at the same time, Sarah. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you're giving away information, you're telling them all about all the great opportunities that you might be even working on, yeah, and don't even know it. Yeah, we're moving forward once, twice, 3 times, and straight back on your hips. We're coming together completely differently this time because we're a lot freer to come together. If you're highly sensitive, you'll notice that it almost feels two like two cylinders almost coming together, or lots of them. That's it, still coming together, still coming together. And the energy that's in your right side is starting to build up a little bit more. We're starting to move forward now once, twice, 3 times. Hands back to prayer. Again, we're using intuition and instinct. And to do it, we're using consciousness, and the energy in your consciousness are just engaging and starting to come out and be used simultaneously at the same time. And as they do, we're moving forward once, twice, 3 times. Shoulders again crossed over. Nice and easy. Now, what is happening now is you're starting to receive information that is moving in cycles right around your whole energy systems, which means you're building it up. It also means you're starting to denote or feel or experience what is important to you, what isn't important. And all the parts that are important are definitely needed, okay? Also, the parts that aren't needed means we're starting to feel it. Now, we'll start to move forward at this stage. 1, 2, 3, and now we'll move. It's all right, so here we go. Moving forward again. 1, 2, 3. Because, hands back to a prayer position, it's very important that we find what is important, what is important, because if we can't find what isn't important, we can't change the bad habits our energy has. Okay? And again, we're just moving forward. 1, 2, 3, and dump. And we're still dumping with a bit of passion here. Quite a lot is moving. Because as we find what is moving, if it's not moving, that energy that's stuck in us may be taking from us. And that's what we're doing. That's it. Nice and easy. Moving forward once, twice, 3 times, back to a prayer. 1, 2, 3. And for the last time, we put our hands on the front of our legs. And again, we're moving down quite quickly. Still going down. And our energy's moving. It's very important that our energy is moving. And we're moving more and more and more and more parts, because we're using your intuition, we're using your instinct, we're using your spirit body, we're using your consciousness. We're moving it all at the same time, and that's why we're moving forward. 1, 2, 3. Hands on hips, please. You might notice that you're becoming a lot more relaxed. And we're moving forward again. 1, 2, 3 times. Hands back to a prayer position. Again, we're just becoming a little bit aware that we're only using our own intuition, and we're not listening to the wants of others, the needs of others. We're just listening to ourselves. We're not allowing others to take from us. We're not allowing others to dump on us. We're just simply listening to what is moving. Moving forward once, twice, 3 times, and now we dump. Nice and easy, nice and gentle. Move your hands straight back to a prayer to finish off. Moving forward 1, 2, 3 times. And that's all we've got to do. Okay, the whole exercise is finished. So each day, if you just ground, as we've just grounded, you learn to actually move your energy, which is very important, which means that you're starting to set yourself up to, 1, not allow people to take or people to dump. But both sides are completely and utterly equal, because if people dump on you, it's exactly the same thing. They basically, when they dump on you, they stop your capacity to be able to receive. And then it's more likely that you will want to dump, or you'll want to get rid of something. So as you're trying to get rid of this energy that's all compressed around you, often you give your own self away without actually knowing it. So once we learn how to ground, it means that we start to use our spirit, our consciousness, and we start to use our intuition and instinct. They're all the basic foundations, because if we don't use those very, very basic capacities of ourselves, we've often got very, very little idea of what our energy's up to. And often I say to people, well, what's your energy doing? And most people can't really tell me. I mean, it's like, we hope we've got a spirit, and we hope we've got it, or we hope we've got a soul, and we hope it's doing something. But what we've got to do is actually learn that all these different functions of us are actually moving and doing something. I mean, they're all meant to be working, but the more efficient they become, the more relaxed we become. But it also means that you find all these different parts where you weren't very confident in some areas, because stuff is being taken from you, or stuff is being dumped on you. And although we started saying, we talked about like energy vampires, basically, where everyone's taking from you. Well, really, when people dump on you, it's the same thing. And they're taking your capacity away. And that's what we all need to change, just by simply learning all these things that are real basic principles of your energy fields, and that's what we do when we do workshops. But by by learning what you actually have, you can actually learn a lot more. So even if you want to do a lot of different energy healing and all that sort of thing, it's great to learn what is the actual capacity of you, because before you can heal others, you really got to learn how your capacity is and how to heal yourself before you can heal anybody else. Yeah. Um, anyway, back to you about that, Sarah. You've got a few more things you'd like to say about that.
Well, yes, there's an area which I don't think we can really get into, but I can just point to because it's been the other piece for me. I've been working with you for quite a few years now, and I'm really aware of how much my energy has become kind of contained, and how I've found that place of being me, and it's like knowing what's mine and not what belongs to other people. I used to feel much more what was going on in other people, and I think that I just thought perhaps that was a good thing to be able to do. I see that a lot of people, it's almost like they're not quite sure about it. They don't like it very much, but it feels perhaps also that it's useful. And so we get rather confused actually about what's my energy and what's your energy. The thing that I found that I think is just worth alluding to, and we can't really go into it today, but maybe another time, is that there's a very interesting phenomenon for example, if you find that, let's say, other people dump on you, or people are very imposing on your energy, for example, maybe somebody's very strong and very dominant, and your energy, you find it very difficult to handle that. What I found and what I've worked with a lot, which is coming from a completely different angle from David in a way, is that if somebody does that to you, you also always contain that energy in yourself. This is a really interesting thing. So let's say somebody's very dominant with you, and so you feel rather weak, maybe, or a bit passive or submissive or something. They put you into a very uncomfortable position. But what I found is that you always have that kind of dominant energy in you, and very often what you'll do is you'll use that to suppress your own self. So you suppress and dominate your own spirit and your own soul and your own heart, and then you get mad with this other person for treating you that way. But there's a very interesting kind of reflection going on of the way that you treat yourself. And I've found that if you can gradually untangle that part as well, and there are processes, there's a real process you need to do. It takes a bit of doing, but it's a very beautiful process. If you can actually untangle that, it's quite remarkable, first of all, how you change, but very frequently how the other person changes as well. So this is really about how our energy works in relationships. We're not little islands of energy. We're constantly relating, and there are patterns of energy at every level and every dimension of life. And there are reflections. So things can happen to you, can only happen to you because of your energy. If you don't have that kind of energy, you don't have that kind of experience. And I've found that the combination of doing what David did with us and all the things that he shows us, which makes our own energy work really well, the combination of that and actually recognizing, learning how to recognize the way you treat yourself, which is fundamentally what we're talking about, that's a really powerful combination. And what I mean by powerful is that over time, you can clean up and heal every relationship that you've ever had in your life that has ever hurt you. And what that does is free your heart, and it frees you up so that you stop feeling disconnected. Because what happens when you get hurt by people is you get disconnected. You defend yourself, and then you disconnect more and more from life, and you end up feeling like I ended up feeling like I wasn't. It was like I wasn't touching life at all. I was separated from it, literally. And that's why I had to learn all of these things to be able to feel it again. So for me, that's the other piece of What we're talking about is is learning how these patterns work between you and other people. Now, it's a huge topic, um,
There's
and
a there's
it's
a
very
there's a
interesting work, but it's nice to just at least mention it.
all that Sarah said there is so correct. And there's just one other little take on that, because when we become inefficient in a certain way, we tend to, because everybody scans, and that's basically, if someone's really efficient in some way, we want to find out how they do it. I know you mightn't think you do, but everybody does. Everybody basically scans everybody, and some people are really, really aware that they scan other people. But if somebody's working more efficiently, in a way, you want to get in and find out how they use their energy, and how they become maybe more dominant or whatever. But everybody scans everybody. So when when we find how to find, as Sarah said, we need to find out how to use the capacity ourselves, and not view ourselves as broken, but find what's actually in here, all the good stuff. Then we find that we aren't quite as broken as what everybody thinks. But it also means that we don't allow people just to come and take, or when we find all these great resources that we've actually got. But sorry,
You
off
go
you
on.
go. But we find that we have a lot of energy parts that are working quite beautifully. But that's the whole thing of energy work. When we use all different types of capacities, all these different areas we've got to go into, and that's why, there's so many different facets here, that why Sarah and I work together. We like to show everybody that, you know you have all this good stuff, but sometimes we don't use it, or we only use it a little bit of the time. And when you use it like 100% of the time, it's just like life becomes a heck of a lot easier.
I think the thing that's really important about this is because these are patterns that can repeat again and again and again, and sometimes
Mm.
it does make you feel broken. If every time you come in touch with a certain type of person, your energy gets drained, or you feel they're dumping on you or whatever, you can feel quite broken by that. And the point is that if you're patient and you do the right things, you can completely um, heal, maybe we can say, or you can become completely, fully functional. Um, you're not condemned to a life of oversensitivity, or a life of feeling everything that's going on and never really being able to have your own sovereignty. There are things that you can do that will change it, every aspect of it that is really unpleasant for you. And it does take some time on the whole, and it takes some patience, but everything that's worthwhile in life takes time and patience pretty much. So I think that that's okay. But it feels really important to me to realize it doesn't matter what's happened to you in the past. Whatever story you have, and it doesn't matter how many times you've made the same mistake, because I meet many people who, they have serial relationships with the same type of person, and then they just think, I'm never ever going to change. That is just not true. And I know that for myself because of how much I've changed, and how much I've seen other people change over many years now. And so it's always important to realize, with this kind of thing, how much is possible for you. It's so much more than we tend to realize.
The other thing is too, sometimes as soon as your energy starts to move a little bit, how you used to think and say, well, I couldn't do that, or I'm not good enough, you don't even think it. It just
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely. It
Next thing you
changes.
know, you've done something, and it's like you've given yourself almost a shock, and like, wow, I just did something that I never ever would have thought I'd ever do.
Yeah. I hear
And
that so
it
often from
becomes,
people.
yeah, it,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that that's a really good introduction to the topic of energy vampires and how to deal with them.
we may have
And
stretched things a little bit more. because um, we need people to understand that the information may not be always conventional on what the way we're talking, but sometimes we can give you a couple little hints and say, well, look, you're probably not as broken as what you think you are. And most people have got this massive capacity. It's just a matter of waking it up and finding it.
And also, a very important thing to understand is when we talk about it, even, we're activating it within you. So, even listening to these conversations, as well as doing the exercises, they start to activate within you and within your energy, whatever it is that we're talking about. And so, there's already improvement going on just by watching a YouTube video. That's one of the very beautiful things about energy. Well, thank you, David. I think that that was a
Thanks,
really
Sarah.
worthwhile conversation, and thank you for sharing that exercise with everybody.
Hope this helps somebody. Bye bye.
Bye.